You're listening to Podcast PXN,
a video game podcast,
delivering a player experience news.
Let's go! What is up, guys, and welcome to Podcast PXN, episode 309. I am one of your hosts, Daniel Prindle, aka Dan is DTM on Twitter, and yes, I am joined over Discord by the Nintendo aficionado and hardcore casual himself, Roshan Warner at Roro.
Hello, hello.
Hello. And we are joined by our resident Embark Glazer and my fellow Spartan, Gage Dempster at Gilbo Biggins.
Ready to glaze, sir.
Glaze on Spartan. And thank you to everyone watching us live and participating in the chat. Just as a reminder, we are live each and every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on youtube.com/@podcastpxn and twitch.tv/podcastpxn as well. The topic of the show this week, guys, is what are the next-gen consoles looking like? We're going to dive right into that right now, head first. So let's jump in. What are these next-gen consoles going to look like, guys? Well, before we get there, the next-gen Xbox hardware plans had to be reaffirmed this week by Microsoft after there were rumors and reports that they may possibly be pulling out of hardware. And so Jez Corden and Tom Warren and some others reached out to Microsoft to get an official statement. And essentially, Microsoft has now at least confirmed that the rumors are false, as noted in the statement above, which we just talked about. But how did we get here? The original report showed that the rumors emerged in the wake of Microsoft's barely explicable 50% rise in Game Pass Ultimate and the weird tone-deaf way in which they presented it as a good thing, throwing in Fortnite crew and stuff people didn't ask for. We got exit rumors continuing to seem plausible and seem to be a real problem despite the source of the rumors. It showcases to Jez, this is Jez writing this, a very deep disconnect between Microsoft and how its audience and the community at large views gaming in general. So they did get a confirmation from Microsoft saying, we are actively investing in our future first-party consoles and devices designed, engineered, and built by Xbox. For more details, the community can revisit our agreement announcement with AMD, which of course they announced a multi-year partnership with AMD back in June for first-party Xbox hardware. So yeah, all of that to say, I guess we're still getting a next-gen Xbox console proper. But there is also information we got on the handheld side of things that has been rumored for so long, which is that Microsoft reportedly canceled their handheld because AMD required a minimum of 10 million units in the contract. Essentially, so the Asus ROG and Lenovo Legion have only sold around 1 to 2 million, and Microsoft didn't want to take the risk of not selling the full 10 million of the contract in a sufficient time span. So this seems plausible to me, and it would make sense why they then went to go partner with someone else like ROG, for instance, Asus ROG Ally. But it is interesting and not insignificant that they are seemingly not going to do the handheld approach. So in terms of Xbox, what are we expecting to see out of this? Like, are we expecting to just see whatever their main line next console is? And is there a cheaper price point console? Like, where do they go from here?
Yeah, at this point, I am expecting that the next Xbox generation will launch with just one. I don't know if I want to say one SKU, but I think it's going to be one main set of hardware. I think it's just going to be this console. maybe they have another Asus ROG partnership that comes out around the same time, but it's not something that's made in-house by Xbox. It's tough. It sucks. It's crazy that we're in the environment where Xbox feels the need to come out and like clarify. Like, no, don't worry, we're still making one. Like, that's how tumultuous the Xbox sort of like ecosystem is right now with everybody and everything going on over there. It's crazy. I do want to quickly shout out. This is off topic. I want to shout out Brenty in the YouTube chat.
Oh,
Who says Sopranos, Breaking Bad, The Wire, Peaky Blinders. The Wire is maybe one of the best television shows ever made. It's peak. Highly recommend. Yes. Highly recommend, bro, that you watch that at some point.
Yeah. That is one that he's mentioned before, The Wire for sure, and Sopranos, but yeah.
Sopranos is really good too. Yeah, The Wire is just it transcends time with some of the stuff it talked about in that show. It's so good. But back to Xbox.
Well, hang on. For anyone listening, if you want more of this stuff, you got to come for the live episodes to see all of this awesome stuff. That's what Brenty's referring to there. So we had some really fun, exciting things to talk about in the pre-show, and yeah, thank you, Brenty.
Okay. Back to off topic. Pat Nats in the chat saying I'm on season 3 of The Wire. Hey, season 3. Wait until you get to season 4. Season 4 is absolutely insane. Season 3 is really good too, though. Back to Xbox. Enough of The Wire. Damn, now I'm thinking about The Wire. It's so good. Xbox. Yeah, I'm not expecting like a standard console and a Pro. I'm not expecting an Xbox handheld anymore. I think that they're just going to be full focused on this sort of hybrid PC console thing that they got going on.
Yeah, you mentioned like the tumultuous nature of Xbox and like the industry right now and how they have to come out and clarify. And even though they have come out and clarified, similar to the Xbox handheld, like plans do change. Like right now they have plans to make a console, but they've canceled these projects before. Who's to say that some other partnership might fall through, or they just don't see it as a good business venture? Obviously, once you get to a certain point, you have to put it out. So I don't know how far along they are in this process, but even though they're saying don't believe the rumors, it is, and we shouldn't. Like, we should always take Microsoft's word. Maybe I should rephrase that differently.
Wait.
They have lied about stuff like that before. What I'm trying to say is, like, the rumors are rumors, and official sources are usually more reliable. So to an extent, I agree that we shouldn't like listen to rumors, but rumors have been true in the past. But it's just how reliable the source is at the end of the day. But for me, I think that we will see a console as well. I can't. I say I can't imagine Xbox just like dropping the hardware stuff, but there's so many stuff that's been happening recently that, I mean, it could make sense for them to just do software and just get rid of the hardware stuff. But it's I don't know, it's just such a strange time that just Xbox just not making Xboxes anymore. It would be such a strange thing to me. But,
call me crazy, guys, but hear me out here. All right. So we've talked about in the past, in previous generations, the certain things being rumored about having like an upgradable console. What if they were to make a PC, but it's an Xbox, because that's seemingly where they're moving towards, is building a PC that is booting you into a console interface, so to speak, so you can still have access to Steam and Epic Games Store and all these other things. So they build a SoC with, or better than the SoC, you have a CPU, just like a traditional PC, and then you have your GPU that maybe they get something in particular from AMD for this. But the reason why I'm saying this is you make it so that the graphics card is swappable, hot swappable, so that like your average user can swap it like easily. And I don't know how, like the mechanics behind that, somebody's got to figure that out. That's way smarter than me. But like, if you thought about that and you just bought the Xbox chassis, or you bought the lower powered one and then later you decide, oh, I want to upgrade to the better one, then you can, sell the lower powered card and then you put in the higher powered card and like you have a better console, but it's still the same CPU, it's the same memory, so it's like the only difference is the graphics card. I feel like that would be somewhat interesting to kind of throw a wrench in next generation plans, to kind of give your customer an upgrade path, so to speak, to keep playing games moving forward.
Yeah, it would be interesting. Because we've talked about that so often in the past, and I feel like in a different universe, Xbox would be able to, like, they would need way more market share than they have now, I think, to justify AMD making specific proprietary, like, hot swappable GPUs. What would be interesting is if somehow, I feel like they might, pie in the sky, they might still be able to do this idea instead of having, like I'm imagining a GPU that is designed in such a way that it kind of fits in with this modular Xbox, but it's also still PCIe, so it's like AMD could sell it as like a standalone GPU. Because that's the thing, right? Like AMD would have to have enough of a use case to actually build this thing and hope to sell enough of them, right? So I'm imagining like this thing where it's like you could buy it off the shelf and plug it into a desktop PC, and maybe it looks a little out of place and wonky, but it still connects exactly the same. It's just designed to fit with the, modular Xbox. Like maybe when you slot in the GPU, it like completes the silhouette of the Xbox, something like that. I don't know. I've always loved that idea, but I'm starting to worry that even though I feel like that's such a great idea and it's like a good way to future-proof your console, that Xbox is just in like a survival state right now where they can't even think about something like that. But
yeah,
I always love that idea, and I would love that.
Very interesting. And in Ro, you briefly mentioned it about them bringing out a new ROG Ally when this new console comes out, which totally makes sense. If it comes out at 2 years from now, that seems like a good time to do like a little refresh on that. So that would be interesting as well. This is gonna sound stupid, and this just popped into my head, but like, even the idea of like if you owned like their home console, whatever that looks like, whether it's PC or whatever, and the handheld, like you could somehow like plug them into each other, like with some kind of interface, and it like increases the horsepower. Like, wouldn't that be fucking cool if they could do that somehow? I don't know. That's just a crazy idea I just thought of, but
that would be awesome.
Yeah. Reading out some of the chat here, Keurig said, because of how they're handling everything along with the price hike, I then decided to cancel my Game Pass subscription. Not that I wouldn't go back, but they need to show me that they are serious. I'm not buying a handheld unit until they give me a good reason. Fair enough. And Glenn's in the chat saying, do you mean like what they're doing with the handheld? Yeah. Yeah, I don't. Obviously, the handheld thing is seemingly up in the air, coming straight from them, but we'll see. Okay, so from the Sony side of things with PlayStation, there's been also similar rumors of portable hardware that we had talked about a few weeks ago that seemingly they said is going to be more powerful possibly than the ROG Ally X, but also cheaper. So that would be very interesting to me and very exciting as someone who loves playing handheld mode on the Switch, and I know Ro does as well. I think that's a very cool prospect, and dare I say, if it has like a functionality to plug into the TV, would I just get the handheld on the PlayStation 6 and not even get the full-fledged PlayStation 6? I don't know. Is that crazy?
That's absolutely insane. No, it is. No, it is. It's insane.
I'd do it.
You're not going to want to play GTA 6 at full capacity?
Well, I play it. My main platform is Xbox/PC, whatever that looks like.
Okay, yeah, that's true.
Like, literally, the only time I boot up my PlayStation right now is to play the exclusives, and that's it.
Right. I just wonder, like, are you really going to want to play The Last of Us Part 3 lying down in bed?
Yeah. Well, no,
I feel like that's
it would need an ability to plug in for sure.
a dock, right.
Yeah. But I don't know. So are we thinking that Sony is going to do like this full-fledged approach that they're rumored to have right now with the handheld and full-blown console?
I think they would like a PSVR 2 PlayStation situation, like launch them together. I just hope so, because I would love I would love a PlayStation handheld. That would be awesome for me. But yeah, I feel like they're still in the hardware game. They're doing fine. I don't think they have any reason to kind of switch gears right now with what they're doing, and I feel like the exclusives are still good enough for people to be buying their consoles. And if they're not, they eventually come to PC these days.
That's true.
But yeah, I think the handheld part of things will bring a little bit more life into that ecosystem for the next generation. I think that would be cool.
I agree.
And everyone's seemingly like been very excited about handheld since the Switch has been introduced. Like the Switch took off in popularity, so
yeah. It's just the pricing of these things. They need to be a lot better. Every time I see one, I get excited, and then the price comes down. It's like, I can't afford that, and then I lose all excitement for it. So it all depends on how PlayStation prices it, and they have increased their prices, but not as much as the other guys so far. But who's to say what the economy will be like when the PS6 comes out? Hopefully better. But
I really worry that the PS6 is going to be one of those situations where it's like the PlayStation 6 console is like $8.99 and the handheld, the quote unquote cheaper version is like $5.99 US, and it's like, damn, do I want the really expensive console or do I want the even more expensive console? Like, what do I do?
Yeah. The other thing I was thinking about are the next gen consoles, whatever, Xbox, if they do one or whatever, are they both going to be all digital? Are we not going to get a disc drive with either one? Or because I feel like that's a real possibility of happening, or at least the approach that PS5 took, where they launch with a digital only version, and then maybe you buy an add-on that you can add a disc drive onto it. But it is a real concern for some people for backwards compatibility and that kind of stuff, which we'll have a story later in the show that I'll mention when we get there. But yeah, that's a real concern for people who still have physical media and want to play these older games that are backwards compatible, but you can't play them because it doesn't have a disc drive.
I hope so.
I have an awful take on this that I haven't thought about until recently, which is that within our lifetime, so when you mentioned backwards compatibility, can we just use as an example, we're probably talking about 360 games, right? As a general sort of like, 360 games, maybe original Xbox games.
I mean,
I don't know if
even Xbox One and PS4 gen, like early that generation, people were still buying a lot of physical media.
Sure, that's true. I mean, a lot of that stuff I feel like digitally is copacetic.
Which not all. We'll
Not
talk
all of
about
them,
a little
not all of
later
them.
one that's not.
But I recently, and I saw this, and I had to look into it a little bit to see if it was true. But I guess that like, what do you game discs, DVDs, whatever. I guess they deteriorate over time,
That's
and
true.
like within our lifetime, like 360 era discs, even if you kept them, like within like I think it's like 30 or 40 years, will just be like unsalvageable and will not have anything on them. So I wonder if like Xbox and PlayStation do have some sort of like hard out in mind where they're like, as soon as we hit, let's say 2035 or 2036 or whatever, we are going to stop worrying about disk drives because it just doesn't make sense anymore. And when that happens, I hope that we would have already come up with some sort of solution to have all these games digitally brought forward, because if not, that's gonna suck.
That's gonna suck. or we switch back to cartridges. I don't know if that's any better.
He's cooking. I don't know. I don't know if that's like a loophole that works, but
I only say that because I don't know how long Blu-ray discs last for. What were we saying? How long they will survive for until they don't work?
It says 30 to 100 years. It's like a range.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess we haven't reached the cap on cartridges yet either to know if they would survive that long. But I'm just saying that like my Game Boy cartridges still work, so
that's true.
I don't know what format should we use. I hope I see what you're saying, Gage, and I understand it from a business perspective as well. I don't trust these companies with the digital versions of stuff.
I hear you, man. I hear you. Yeah.
Especially with, I keep teasing this, but the story later in the show, when you have licensing issues with certain games, like that can cause a problem as well, because if you lose the license, then they're not going to be able to sell it anymore digitally, and then it's gone. It's just oof.
And Nintendo's doing this game card thing with like they give you the box, but the code is in there. It's nothing new, but it's just they're really going at it this generation with that. Just upsetting.
It is upsetting. I hope it's not all lost to time.
Yes.
Glenn just wants his phone call. Glenn. Kirik said the PS Portal is not too shabby. It's not ideal, but for what it is and what it does, it is solid as long as you have good internet, which is fair. I mean, if you are okay with the latency from cloud gaming, which I've heard the Portal actually does better than other things that are out there for cloud gaming. So I haven't actually gotten a hands-on with it, but as long as they get to a point where you can't feel it, that would be my biggest thing. All right. Yeah, that's all I got for the topic of the show. In and out. Just like that.
In and out.
All right, let's dive into the PXN news of the week. The first item here, Elgato has had a whole week of announcements. They have one more thing, or two more things, I think, tomorrow and Friday that they're going to be talking about. But I thought I'd throw this in here because some of the stuff that they've announced is pretty exciting, actually. So the first day, they announced a new Wave mic arm, MK2. So it's a version 2 of their Wave mic arm. It's supposed to be a little bit better design, ergonomics, all of that. But the other thing they announced on Monday was Voice Focus, which is now available as a standalone audio effect. You no longer need their products in order to get it. Essentially, this removes background noise, takes out room reverb and echo, and keeps your voice sounding crisp. All this applies in real time, which is pretty cool for people that don't have a wave mic and want a little bit better sounding audio, make it a little crisper. So
is this your nudge wink wink for me to download the Wave software?
Well, this one's paid, so Voice Focus is paid.
I see.
Yeah, but yeah, that's for Voice Focus. And then Tuesday, they announced Wavecast, which is basically simplifying if you have a dual PC setup. So very useful for people that are streamers that have 2 PC setups. It allows for auto pairing with no hardware. Allows you to route any app or everything between both PCs. Very cool, actually. I'm kind of interested to know how that works, like in granular detail. But yeah, very cool. They also, and this Gage is where you want to listen. I was gonna tease it, and I'm like, no, I'll just wait until we get to this part. They introduced Wavelink 3.0, which is the new version of Wavelink. It is rebuilt, faster, more powerful. It's going to be a reimagined interface with visual routing tables, support for multiple mics, plus infinite software inputs, which is crazy. 5 independent output mixes, which is huge for, like, we've had audio issues in the past with me trying to share my audio with you guys and it got all, discombobulated. Well, this makes it a little bit easier because I can have 5 independent outputs, so one can be dedicated to you guys. So that's cool as hell right there. And then the last bit, no Elgato hardware required. And the public beta opens up on October 16th. So next Thursday, the beta goes live.
Nice.
Very cool. Very cool. I love the Wavelink software. They've done awesome stuff with that. Love it. And then let's see. Today they announced Marketplace Connect for OBS 1.2 beta. This is an update that adds easy profile and action imports for Stream Deck. Basically, it gives you the ability to install pre-made scenes and sources from other people that have uploaded to the marketplace with plugins configured, hotkeys, transitions, macros, etc. So very cool starting point for people that are maybe getting into streaming for the first time and don't know where to start. It's a nice jumping off point. So Elgato making some very good stuff. Love to see it.
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah. Funny little side note. Elgato. I was such a big fan of Elgato like years ago that I was like, oh, I'm gonna buy some stock in Elgato. Well, Elgato doesn't have stock because they're owned by Corsair. So I actually bought Corsair stock, and then I just watched as Corsair stock continuously went down, and I'm like, okay. I guess Corsair doesn't know what the fuck they're doing, but Elgato sure does.
Is it Elgato owns Corsair or Corsair owns Elgato?
Corsair owns Elgato.
Interesting.
Yeah. Indeed. All right. Let's move into the other news of the week item, which is the canceled Assassin's Creed game that was set after the American Civil War has been leaked. This comes from Steven Totillo. He said, last year, Ubisoft canceled an Assassin's Creed game set during Reconstruction. It was to feature a black assassin who, among other things, fought the clan's rise. Sources tell him that the leadership nixed it, were concerned with the U.S. political climate and also the Yasuke backlash, which I feel like that's kind of a bullshit backlash. I don't think I saw anybody saying they were upset about Yasuke. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy, but
that was a thing. That was a thing.
Yeah.
Was it? Oh,
it was a thing.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Jesus.
But the game was good though. When it came out, people liked it. But of course, before the game came out, yeah, people were not. I mean, and when the game came out, they kept their opinions, but the game itself spoke for itself. But yeah, people were not happy.
Why?
But
I think you're half right, Dan, in that I think using the Yasuke thing as an excuse is bullshit. Not because people weren't upset about Yasuke, people were. The problem is that yes, how do I put this? People were upset because this is me being generous, because there is a lot of assholes out there that are just upset because it's a black guy and they don't want a black guy in their game. Absolutely. But like, I don't know that that's a good excuse to use on Ubisoft's part, because it's like, were people going to say, I don't believe that there was a black slave in colonial America? Like, I feel like it's a different, you guys understand what I'm reaching for here? Like, that's a bad excuse to use. Like, that was Yasuke, I feel like, is a bit of a special example for them to just be like, oh, well, they didn't like Yasuke, so they wouldn't like a black protagonist in another game. It's like, well,
you should put him in this one. Like, this one,
exactly.
There's no excuse for you to be mad for this one. But
right.
Yeah.
And
I want to jump in, or actually, you know what, Dan, I'll let you go ahead. I'll jump in after.
I was just gonna say, and like, for this time period, like, we don't have very much like video game material from this time period. Obviously, this was like a very like terrible time in U.S. history, like in terms of like slaves existing in the world, like not being free. But like the actual moment of the slaves being freed and like all of that stuff, like that, there's like some really powerful storytelling there that would be interesting to see in like a video game format. And like you playing as a black assassin, that sounds awesome. Like during a time where you're like revolting against this like negativity and like hardship that they're enduring through such terrible time in history. Like, yeah, that I think it's a huge missed opportunity, like to actually have something to tell, like have a story to tell. Like modern day Assassin's Creed games have struggled to find the reasoning or the why you're telling this story, or like what's the catch or the draw. And like this seems like it would have a very interesting like narrative hook to it.
I fully agree with you. I'm going to say something that's going to be a little bit spicy here. And it's spicy directed towards Americans. Americans are so funny sometimes. And I'm not saying that you specifically feel this way, Dan, but obviously Ubisoft was thinking about the American. That's probably when they're making a game and they're making the decisions, especially decisions like this. I think they're probably considering America as like the number one market. That's their bread and butter. It's so funny to me that like this might be a step too far, but Assassin's Creed 3 is totally okay. And by the way, I should mention this before I go on this tangent. I think both of these games are great ideas. But it's funny that like they're like, ooh, we don't know if we can do the whole slave thing. That might be a touchy subject, when it's like you already had Assassin's Creed 3, which is that you're playing as a Native American who is fighting on behalf of Americans, even though the game opens up with his village getting genocided by Americans. It's just kind of funny to me that it's like that we can't do the black slave assassin thing. That might be a little too touchy, but it's like I feel like Americans have like this hyper focus on like specifically the African American slave trade, where it's like, I mean, you guys also did like a lot of awful shit to the Native Americans, and like it's weird that it's like that Ubisoft decided that wasn't a story worth telling, or that they could even approach, when they already touched something that I think is very similar in terms of like seriousness and scale and tone and impact on history. Like that might sound insensitive, and that's not what I mean, but like I feel like both things are worth talking about, and it's weird that they draw the line so close to each other, I guess is what I'm trying to say, because I feel like those things kind of are very similar in terms of like American history. And it sucks because it's like Man, this sounds like you're talking about like the freeing of the slaves towards the end, and I think you can make an argument that that didn't really happen all at once, and that there was kind of like generational sort of side effects and stuff like that. But I see what you're saying in terms of like I could see like the end of the campaign where it's like your character is like maybe like standing over a sea of people and they all raise their guns in the like there could be some really cool moments, you know what I mean, in that. And it's crazy to me to say like some people might not like killing racists and freeing slaves, so let's just not. It's a crazy thing to have leak and to have to. They probably won't address it at all because who would want to go to bat for that and stand behind that decision. But it is so funny to me that they're like some people in America might not like this, and that is where we sell our games. So maybe let's not. And it's like, I don't know. I'm reading this and I'm like, this sounds like one of the raddest things I've ever heard of, is being a former slave assassin just fucking hunting down KKK members. That sounds fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Right. Like, it's just, oh man.
I don't know. Well, I do know what happened, but it is more so like they said, the climate and like just the time that we're living in now as opposed to then, where I guess being being racist wasn't as cool as it is now, or as popular as it is now, especially in gaming, where like with the Yasuke thing, and there's been other examples where with women and just other people of color, LGBT things, when they're like in the focus, it's just immediate, like, I don't want to play this game because it's not the basic like version. Like I don't want any of this in my art at all. Right. And yeah, I guess and like you said, like back then people like that existed as well. It's just that it's just become so normalized in everyday conversations and in our politics and stuff like that, that people are just so okay to act this way in public and on the internet, that unfortunately they know that these people are buying our games and they want to make money, so we can't just like alienate the bad people, because the bad people have money too. So may as well play the safe route and make a game for quote unquote everyone. And I don't remember, I'm probably taking this quote out of context because it might be like it might be against what I'm saying. I forgot where it was heard, but like I remember somebody saying a game for everyone is a game for no one, or something like that. Like if you have nothing to say, it's just it's nothing. So say something with you, especially if you're trying to make art. It's just, I don't know. Not to say that like a lot of slop games on Steam, they're great, but that's what they're going to that's what they went into the intention of making. And if you're going into the intention of making something about Civil War, why would you play it safe? Like, just tell that story that you wanted to tell in the first place. And who cares? Well, again, I'm contradicting myself. Of course you care. You want to sell the game. So if you don't think it's going to sell one, don't make the game. I just answered my own question. But it's just sad to see that that's the number one thing on the people's minds when they're creating this stuff. If it's going to be profitable, or if everybody's going to like it. Yeah.
I think that's spot on, Ro. Like I think that there could have been a lot of really cool moments that they put into this that makes you feel something. Like a lot of games, especially Assassin's Creed games nowadays, don't make you feel anything. And that's coming from me. And that's coming from me, who loves the Assassin's Creed games, but they don't really make me feel anything. And this is a setting and an era that would be perfect to make me feel something. And yeah, it is interesting.
Shame.
We also got details that said that the game was canceled following backlash over Shadow's Yasuke, which we already talked about how silly that is. But before then, it was slated to be the next mainline RPG for the franchise, releasing in fiscal year 2028, around October of 2027. The game was in development at Ubisoft Quebec, and from the information that this is from Insider Gaming, by the way, Tom Henderson, that he was able to gather, It was led by game director Scott Phillips, who had previously worked on Assassin's Creed Syndicate and Odyssey. While the game was in a concept phase, everyone working on the project was seemingly thrilled. So, seemingly this came from the top, obviously, that they wanted the game canceled, and not the people on the ground actually working on it that were seemingly excited about it.
Yeah, of course, yeah. Oh my goodness! I found somebody quote tweeting this, saying something similar to what Gage was saying. He said, "God damn it, Ubisoft! Black assassins who were formerly slaves aren't even new to Assassin's Creed." And he mentions like Black Flag had a like expansion, I guess, where they had a black assassin.
Yeah.
So they've done it before.
Right, Liberation, Assassin's Creed Liberation, I think it's called, right?
I'm not sure. It's this one's, maybe that's what the actual DLC was called, but this says like Assassin's Creed Black Flag Season Pass, and it has the dude there.
It was the expansion, Adewale.
Oh, okay. Yes, yeah. That's what they're saying the character's name is.
Yeah.
And then he goes on to say, who cares what the racists think? We literally played as a Native American fighting colonials in AC3, which is what Gage was saying earlier. My God. So sad.
And I mean, the beginning of every Assassin's Creed game, what does it say? It says this game was made from, a bunch of people with a bunch of different views and a bunch of different historical background. Like, the series has always prided itself on running the gambit of all of these types of heroes and villains, and it's like, it's silly to say like, oh, we're not going to do this because it might be, not liked by certain people that,
Again, I just think about how in Assassin's Creed 3, which, as I've said on the podcast before, is my favorite Assassin's Creed, there is a mission in that game where you are burning smallpox blankets before they can be distributed to the native population. I mean, you're literally, like, again, this is where I say where it's like, it's funny where they draw the line, because it's like, that's something that actually happened. Like Americans weaponized, I mean, that's the first, like, what do you want to call it? Biological warfare, right? And it's like, that's something that happened in real life, distributing these diseased blankets to the local population to try to get rid of them. And they already said, like, we'll take that topic and put it into a video game. And in my opinion, was used effectively. Like, I love the story of Assassin's Creed 3, and I think it does absolutely make you feel something. But then they're like, I don't think Americans are ready to handle slavery yet. It's like, I don't know. And Dan, you said something earlier where it's like, Assassin's Creed games don't make you feel anything anymore. And I totally agree with you. And like, not that this should not be your main motivation, because this is where people get upset about, oh, these games have an agenda. But it's like, what a great opportunity to like actually take something and put it in the format of an awesome, fun video game, but have some like serious like discussion and like things and reflection on your history, right? Like, again, I feel like they already kind of did that with 3. I don't know why they draw the line here. I feel like there's a lot of things that they could add to the conversation or at least just get people thinking about it, especially like the younger generation who maybe who, because of social media and how toxic things are kind of like blocking that period out because they think it's politicized, where it's like, no, I mean, you guys should know about this. And yeah, what a total missed opportunity, I think. The one thing though, where you were reading there, where I was like, okay, maybe I'm happy this game got canceled, is that I heard you say the word, this would be their next mainline RPG. All right. What are we doing? We're collecting, you found a level 8 flintlock pistol? Like, what are we doing here? Like, that's the type of shit where I'm like, all right, never mind, cancel it all. I don't give a fuck. I don't want to do Assassin's Creed RPGs anymore. But if this was an Assassin's Creed game like the old ones, like Black Flag, like 3, then sign me up all the way. But if this was going to be Assassin's Creed Odyssey, but instead it's in Mississippi, I'm like, all right, well, I don't know.
Which is it is interesting, because they said the next RPG, like you were saying, and they said it would release October 2027 was what they were targeting. So that makes me think that, because their next game was supposed to be the Project Hex, which is the Salem Witch Trials game, and that one I think is a more traditional Assassin's Creed game, and that I'm assuming is coming next year then, by this logic, because if that was supposed to
which
come
game
out,
is that, sorry?
The Project Hex, which is the
Salem
Witch Trials. Yeah, so seemingly that's coming next year by way of this leak saying that this one was going to come in 2027, I would think, right?
Right.
So that's a mild bit of excitement from this from me, because I'm excited for the Salem Witch Trials game that's been in the works for a while. But yeah, I think this is stupid why they're canceling this. That's really dumb.
Yeah.
All right. Let's move into the quick bites, gentlemen. I know friend of the show Christian's watching us or listening to us, so say hello, Christian.
Hi, Christian. I miss you.
Hello.
Get back to work. No, just kidding.
Get back to work.
Our first item here. Starbreeze has canceled Project Baxter and has doubled down on the Payday franchise. They laid off a significant portion of its development team and announced the plans to double down. And Project Baxter was their co-op Dungeons and Dragons game, by the way.
Can I say something? This is one of the decisions of all time. I really don't see... I do not see what Starbreeze sees in Payday. Again, 8 years ago, different conversation. Right now, I don't know. I'm just Valve lays off, Steam Deck R&D team to make new DLC for Left 4 Dead 2. Like, I don't know if we're prioritizing the right things here. This is obviously people getting laid off, not a good thing. Not happy about that. But they really need to. Well, not even but. Like they should be doing it the other way around, where they should be pulling back resources from Payday and putting it towards something else. Because that studio when it comes to core gameplay design and ideas, I think they have something there. I mean, our first 2 hours of playing Payday 3 was like, oh, this is kind of neat, and oh, this is kind of cool, and this is a cool way to do this. But then it's just like they can't fully, I don't know, capitalize or execute on it properly. So like, to me, like the idea of them exploring a new franchise, a new game is kind of what I want to see from that studio. And this just is like, in my mind, again, I'm not a decision maker there. I don't know what their analytics are and how much money they make from what, but this just seems like the opposite direction that I would be heading.
Agreed. Yeah. Doubling down on a mid franchise, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
The next quick bite. Microsoft is preparing to launch a free Xbox Cloud gaming service with ads. They're expected to announce this very soon. Sources familiar with Microsoft's plans tell The Verge that the software maker has started testing ad-supported games streaming internally, allowing employees to play select titles free without a Game Pass subscription. Tom Warren, this is where it's coming from, The Verge. I understand that the free ad-supported version of cloud gaming will include the ability to stream some games you own, as well as eligible free play days titles, which lets Xbox players try out games over a weekend. You'll also be able to stream Xbox Retro Classic games. Sources tell them that the internal testing includes around 2 minutes of pre-roll ads before a game is available to stream for free through Xbox Cloud Gaming. Microsoft is also currently testing a limit of 1 hour for sessions, with up to 5 hours free per month. These limits may well change when the service is officially launched. There you go. Free ad tier.
Remember, kids, if the product is free, you are the product.
If it's free, it's for me. No. Yeah, Keurig ads, they're coming. Only for this tier though. Free tier. For now. For now. All right, the next quick bite. Xbox has reportedly lost over $300 million in Call of Duty sales in 2024 by putting it in Game Pass Ultimate. Yeah, that's a lot of money. there's also word that they are delaying the Xbox Game Pass Ultimate price hikes for some subscribers in other European countries. They will be affected at a later date.
I saw this. The waters were really muddied there for a hot second on Twitter. With people getting emails and saying that it's not, and then some people saying, no, it's a fake email, don't fall for it. Never mind, I don't want to talk about that. It's fine.
300 million of COD sales being lost in 2024 is pretty crazy. That is quite significant. I'm sure that might be one of the reasons why Ultimate went up in price.
Oh, it absolutely is. But can I say something? I feel like this is on like the lower end of what I thought they might miss out from
That's
Call
true.
of Duty. I really thought that I did not see the gambit there from the get go. I mean, I can see the gambit of owning one of the most popular first person shooters, but like I mean, in terms of like cannibalizing your own sales, I always thought that was going to be a problem. But yeah, this is I think this is absolutely why we're seeing such a big price hike so soon.
And will it work? Because everybody canceled.
That's true. Are they going to lose even more now? Yeah.
Oh. And then it's going to go up even more.
I know.
We're in a perpetual cycle.
We are increasing the Xbox consoles one more time for unprecedented reasons. The economy.
Right.
Keurig said, I'm going to open up my own company. It'll be called Joe's Smoked Meats. The food is free, but you have to eat it off an ad plate. That's awesome.
I'll do it.
Hey, it's free. I'll eat it. Yeah. The next quick bite, Gage is going to love this one. Halo TV series is now on Netflix in the US and has become one of the most popular shows on Netflix.
It would do really well there. Absolutely. Netflix viewers would absolutely eat up this type of content for sure.
The shade is real. Let's move into the next quick bite, which is the story I was teasing earlier when we were talking about losing digital rights and all of that. Because Rock Band 4 has been officially delisted from digital stores over this past weekend. Rock Band 4 DLC will also begin to vanish, with Fate of the Legacy DLC being figured out over the coming months. So essentially, the 10-year mark hit for Rock Band 4, and apparently that game had a 10-year license for their songs and the DLC songs as well. So as we hit the 10-year mark for all of these DLC songs, we're going to start to see all these DLC songs start to disappear. So make sure if you want to play Rock Band 4 into the future or Rock Band 4 DLC, sorry, if you've not bought it digitally by now, you're too late. Then you need to buy the DLC now before it goes away. And that's what I wanted to say as well. I was a little upset with myself that I didn't buy Rock Band 4 digitally, because I was thinking about this right before the show when I was putting the stories together, and I'm like, what if the next Xbox doesn't have a disc drive, and then I can't use my Rock Band 4 disc that I have, and we can't rock out anymore?
Oh my god.
But I'll just keep the Series X then. I'll just have to keep it. You know?
Yeah.
But get to looking at songs. Gage said he was going to send me a list. Never got it.
Yeah, what timeline do I have?
Basically, every time the DLC hits 10-year mark, so as they released, I don't know what the first DLC songs ever released were for Rock Band 4, but the first ones are going to start to hit as they hit their 10-year cycle. So,
okay.
Better get to it. Some former Ensemble devs, of course, from Halo Wars, Age of Empires, and more, have a new trailer for Fleet Breakers. This game looks pretty cool, so I just thought I'd shout it out here. It's a new sci-fi outer space RTS game. Very unique that it's completely in outer space, but it's an RTS. Very cool. Then we move into Vampire Survivors is getting an online co-op mode that is coming soon. They have an announcement trailer. It is coming this autumn with up to 3 other friends. And next week's announcement is we might finally answer a burning question that has been asked thousands of times. So they have another piece of this update being announced next week. Very cool. Vampire Survivors. And the next quick bite. Finally, they changed the color of the bottom and the thumbsticks for the DualSense, and it looks beautiful. All blue. Beautiful. PlayStation DualSense controller. It's about damn time we got some color uniformity here.
And yet you still cannot escape the two-tone.
I don't mind it here. It's both blue. I'm digging the blues. I love it.
That's so interesting. You're so funny because I saw this and I was like, damn, that's an awesome shade of blue, but Dan's gonna hate it because it's still two-tone. But now you're like, you know what? I kind of dig it.
I don't hate it, but I don't love that they used two-tone. I wish it was I wish it was just the blue in the middle, but you know what? It's better than having 2 completely different colors next to each other. That it just does, it breaks my brain when I see that.
Fair enough.
All right. And for the last quick bite, welcome to our new segment of I Don't Give a Fuck. Elon Musk announced that XAI Game Studio will release an AI-generated game before the end of 2026. And let's all say it together, guys. I don't give a fuck.
I would be lying. I do give a fuck. I can't wait for this game to release on Steam and for me to jump to that review section immediately and see the overwhelming negative. Actually, I think why I do care is because what's more interesting is how is he gonna release this game in such a way that he can control the discussion around it. And I really feel like genuinely there's a non-0% chance that this game releases exclusively to X somehow. Where it's like you gotta stream the game on X or you gotta do, because otherwise, like, and again, I want this, I can't wait for this, but like otherwise he's gonna expose himself to like what gamers feel about AI. And a part of me can't wait for this thing to come out just for that reason. I can't wait for this game to come out and for people to just be like, yeah, this feels like shit, looks like shit, is slop, and for him to be touting the next evolution of video games and for it to come out and have like an overwhelmingly negative on Steam and like a 38 on OpenCritic. I can't wait. I absolutely cannot wait for that.
You know what I'm drafting on my fantasy critic next
year? No. Oh god.
Definitely this game. Definitely.
Eric says, and this is what our future is, boys, for all digital games. No.
Yes.
Let's say that.
Aye.
All right. Friend of the show, former host of the show, still beloved by everyone. Christian just texted me, I knew you'd like that disgusting controller. You know what, Christian? I do like it. Let's jump into our fantasy draft check-in, guys. Fantasy draft check-in. Roshan Warner has a new pickup, and I'm gonna tell you, Ro, right now, I've been waiting for weeks for fucking Ken Levine to just fucking say that Judas is fucking officially delayed to next year so that Fantasy Critic lets me drop it so that I could pick up Octopath Traveler 0. And I couldn't fucking do it because he wouldn't do it. and I don't have any more drops left of games that are releasing this year. So you know what, Ken? This is your fault, Ken. No, I'm just kidding. Ro picked up Octopath Traveler 0 with a bid of $5.
Hell yeah. I still have $55.
That's a lot of money. Holy.
Gage has $63.
Jesus, yeah. What the fuck? And you only have 2 games left to pick up.
I get to carry them over to the next year, right?
No, not at all. All right, so games coming up. We've got Battlefield 6 and Little Nightmares 3 coming out Friday. Gage has Little Nightmares 3. I have Battlefield 6. Gage, I've got some good news for you. Little Nightmares 3 is on OpenCritic right now. Reviews are flowing in, and it is a 73 on OpenCritic, giving you a whopping...
How did I know that that's where you were leading me when you got excited at the beginning of that? How did I know?
3 points for you.
I knew that one was going to be risky.
Battlefield 6 reviews, I believe, are dropping tomorrow. So we'll see what I get next week for Battlefield 6. And then we have coming down the pipeline next Thursday. Yeah, next Thursday, Ro has Pokemon Legends Z to A releasing. Next Friday, I have Keeper releasing. And then the week after that, Christian has Ninja Gaiden 4, and I have Dispatch starting to release its episodic content. A lot of excitement coming down the pipeline, boys.
Very exciting times.
All right. Let's go into what you got for me, Dan. Well, Dan, good news for you. I've got virtually nothing new. I've done nothing. I don't know. I did play the new Halo Infinite update last night, and very fun. Very fun. I'm enjoying some of the updates that they made to Squad Battle, and also Awakening the Nightmare. I think that's what it's called. Frick, the Undead Nightmare, whatever it's called. The zombie mode for Halloween. They had it last year, and it's back and even better than last year. So some quality of life improvements there. So having some fun with that. But Ro, what you got for me?
I have been playing Digimon Time Stranger on Steam, and I'm having a really good time with it. Again, as someone who's played Pokemon a lot, it's nice to play a different monster tamer collector game. I like Digimon fine, but more like when I was a kid, and really stuck with it like I have with Pokemon. So I'm kind of rediscovering it with this game. And it's been a lot of fun. There's just like a lot of things that Pokemon has right, and that's why I keep playing it. But there's so many quality of life stuff in this game that I'm like, why is this not in Pokemon? And I get it. It's like, this one is just solely, to my knowledge, solely single player. So there's a little bit more that you can get away with. There's not as much balancing that you need to worry about as with Pokemon. There's the multiplayer side of things too. But there's just so many things that just make things easier in this game. And with the evolution lines, this in Digimon, it's so cool where there's like 5, like in Pokemon, it's like the first stage, second stage, third stage. And with Digimon, there's like, could go up to like 5 or 6, I think. And once you reach a certain, like once you reach the third stage, you need to hit certain criteria, and there's different monsters that they can evolve into based on which one you spec. Like say your rookie, your second stage has like a lot of HP and a lot of defense, so you could evolve it into this monster. And if it has a lot of intellect and a lot of speed, it'll go into this monster. And you get to choose like which one you want. Sometimes it's a mystery. Most of the time it's a mystery. So you have to like go on wikis and like figure out, oh, I want this guy. So how do I get this guy to this guy? So that's been fun, like trying to figure that out. And the story is like, apparently it gets really good from what I've heard. Right now it's just like it's a whatever anime story, which I'm enjoying. But like the actual gameplay of the battles and the grind has been really fun. So I'm enjoying that a lot right now. I'm still excited for Pokemon. I will always love my Pokemon, but this has been kind of refreshing to get that same monster tamer itch, but with a little bit more polish, which I wish Nintendo would just, or Game Freak would just, they have a lot of money, so I'm not sure why it doesn't happen. But it's just running good, it looks good. I just wish Pokemon looked like this, because then it'd be perfect.
Maybe next week it will.
Maybe. Then maybe the Nintendo Switch 2 is all I needed. Maybe that's what the problem was.
Hell yeah. I used to watch Digimon as a kid, and I don't remember anything about it. Like, I remember all of my Pokemon memories, but I don't remember anything about Digimon.
I don't know. I think it's harder to remember the Digimon names than the Pokemon names, honestly, when I've been going through it. There's a lot. But what makes it easy is that they all end with Mon. So like it's like Agumon or Bearmon or something like that. They all end with Mon, so that makes it easy. So you just have to remember the first half.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of them, so I completely understand.
Oh yeah. Ro is back to playing games.
You know what's funny is now I'm worried. Before it was like, oh, I'm worried Ro's not gonna have anything again this week, but now I'm worried that you're gonna go back to that, where it's like it's gonna take me off guard now when we had the week where you're like, I didn't play anything.
I didn't play anything.
No, we're back to the dark times.
We lost him.
We lost him.
Gage, what you got for me?
Well, Dan, I've got. What do I have for you? I know I've been playing Mega Bonk, but there's only so much you can talk. It's the same. It's like the second or third time you say that you've been playing Vampire Survivors. It's the same thing. It's addicting. I feel like an iPad kid when I'm playing it, but it's good. It's so good.
And how's it going to compare to Vampire Survivors when that co-op update comes out?
That's true. Although Mega Bonk's working on co-op as well, so we'll have to compare and contrast and see which one comes out first. But yeah, it's fun. It's really fun. Same. I'm not going to talk about it too much because it's just same old. And then aside from that, what else have I played? I think I'm still playing Rematch. I think we played that last weekend, and it's still,
unfortunately,
it's still a love-hate relationship. Like I feel like I could keep playing it and having, some good matches for sure. But if in the group chat, you or Christian was like, let's just uninstall this game and never play it again, I feel like I would be able to do that in a heartbeat and be like, yeah, sure, let's just stop it. Like it's such a take it or leave it game, and it sucks because we say this every time we play it. The core concepts are so good, and like when it works, but the problem is like the ratio of it working and not working is so far out of whack that if one of you guys hit me up and said, let's just uninstall this shit and never play it again or whatever, it's like, yeah, I'm down with that. That's fine. And then I think we played just a hint of Borderlands 4 this weekend. Which is still good. It's fine. It's good. I don't know. I'm a little disappointed with the endgame content, I think. It's funny that we always talk about how much of a miss, quote unquote, Borderlands 3 was, but when I think back to the endgame content in Borderlands 3, I feel like I was in it more than I am with Borderlands 4. Borderlands 4 endgame content seems to be mostly just rerun the missions and get loot, whereas Borderlands 3 actually had like this arena mode and this horde mode that you could do and these different things that you could matchmake for. So I don't know how much more Borderlands 4 I got left in me. Hopefully we can play when I'm playing with you and we're doing your campaign for the first time. That's fun, but I mean playing solo, there's not a whole lot for you to search for. I don't really care about helping strangers do their playthrough, so it's a little interesting. I don't know how much longer I've got. I've got Borderlands 4 for me solo, but yeah, that's pretty much it for what you got for me.
It is interesting with Borderlands 4 because the more I play it, the more I'm like, this is more Borderlands. And like, it's not necessarily a dig at it. It's just like, I don't know that I need more, but I don't know.
Have you thought to yourself, damn, did I fall for it again?
A little bit.
Okay, me too.
I mean, I have fun. That's the thing. I have fun when playing it. I think the biggest thing for me is like, it was always exciting to like upgrade your loot and go through that process. But like, the problem is nowadays, like, I just don't have time to do all that. And then, Randy Pitchford sending out golden keys every 5 seconds. So I have like 26 golden keys. So it's like every level I'm leveling up, I'm just going to the box and getting a golden key or using a golden key and then getting a whole bunch of good loot. And I'm just like, okay, well, what's the purpose of me putting a shitload of hours into this? I kind of just want to burn through the campaign and then, call it a day.
Right.
I don't know. But
I gotta. Okay. I'm sure. I don't think he wants me to, but I'm gonna say I just got a text from former host, friend of the show, Christian, and I quote: "Oh no, who could have foreseen paying full price for Borderlands would end up feeling hollow?" Yeah.
Here we go.
Well, you know what? When he's right, he's right.
You know what's? No, I'm not gonna say it. I don't want to get chastised. I'm not gonna say it. Because it's really bad. I'll get destroyed if I say it. Nope, not saying it. All right. Yes. Anyone who's watching live right now, just tune in for this little baseball game going on. The Blue Jays are up 4-1 right now to the Yankees.
Let's go.
Yes, we fucking are.
Let's hope they can finish this one out and move on. But until next time, thank you again to everyone joining us live on YouTube and Twitch, as well as podcast services everywhere, including Apple Podcasts, YouTube Music, Spotify, and everywhere else you get your podcasts. Thank you, Ro. Thank you, Gage. Thank you, everyone in the chat. I am Daniel, and this has been Podcast PXN, and we are out. Much love, and keep on gaming.
Bye. Adios.